like a 10-block radius, there are about 80 bars.
Wow.
So I think
Just
I could
your
get used to
kinda
living there.
Just your kind of town.
Yep.
Bars.
80
Anywhere you
bars.
stumble, you just roll right
Exactly.
into a bar.
And we finished the night at a bar called 8Ds. So it's an 8 and an E and S, so 8 E's. And all they play is 80s music. I was in
What?
heaven.
Shut
Yes.
What?
They basically had to drag me off the stage at 2 o'clock in the morning when the bar closed. Because I was up there doing Sweet Child of Mine.
Boozy.
Like
Let's start
no
a
one
franchise here. Let's take it here.
I've always
and
thought
some
that-
pour some sugar on me. You
We
know.
need an 80s place here. There's
We
only
do.
one 80s night that I've
I
found
know.
so far in
Yeah,
Phoenix,
at
which is
Rip-
Obscura
Yeah.
at Rips.
Rips.
And my favorite 80s bar is at I don't even know if it's there anymore, Pleasure Island at Walt Disney World. They had 8 tracks,
Wow.
which was really fun.
Yeah.
That does
With
sound
the full
fun.
like Staying Alive, multicolored dance floor and
Did you guys ever go to Glam when it was open?
No.
It had like the light up dance floor.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was
Glam?
amazing.
where was that at?
It was across from what's the other place? Was it Ain't Nobody's Biz at one point?
Oh yes, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
And it was across the street and it was in a strip mall. And
Wow, that's some throwback gay right there.
That
oh,
is.
it was good.
Keeping it real. We got to bring that shit back.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
So, in addition to the wine, which we'll talk about in a second, Libby brought us some tasty snacks.
Chase Street
Look at
snacks.
this wine and cheese spread. I mean,
I cut the cheese, you guys,
Oh no.
just for you.
Oh, too bad Michelle's not here right now, or we would definitely
she'd
get a
be
fart
doing
noise.
arm
Yeah, there would
farts or
definitely be a fart
something.
noise right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Thanks for
there it
taking
is.
care of that in her honor.
I think one night I was actually texting her and telling her to make fart noises, and she just
On
kept
the air.
doing
And
it.
she
Yeah.
is more than happy to
She
oblige.
is.
She just kept doing
She
it.
is more than happy to oblige.
Remind me not to use that mic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mic number 2. Yeah.
ever.
Oh, yeah. So the wine that we have selected for tonight is a personal favorite of mine, and I know
And mine.
Libby's a big fan.
Oh yes. Why do I want to talk like this? This is how rusty I am. I'm like, yes, it's one of my favorites as well.
It's
What's
the
happening
NPR
to me?
voice. You have become Anna
Michelle
Gasteyer. And
Norris.
yes.
I am Michelle
Melissa
Norris.
Block. I love Michelle Norris. So we're drinking a Spanish wine from Spain. It is called Black Slate, and it's from a region called Priorat. It's spelled Priorat. And they are known for their blends, mostly Garnacha. This one is mostly Garnacha, and it has some Cab and Merlot and Syrah, so it's a big, earthy, spicy treat in a glass. And hey, Lib,
Yeah.
you've got something in your glass. You may want to take care of that. Fail. There's a fly.
Waiter.
There's a
You may
fly
need to
in my
excuse- there's a
wine.
bathroom. You can go
Waiter?
dump.
No, just take the whole thing. Do it. Go.
You're like, it is really
You'll
good.
be
I'll be
excused.
back. I hate
yeah.
you, flies. I hate you.
Oh boy. Well, that just took a turn
That
south.
did take a turn. She is not going to be happy when she comes back.
See, look what happens when you stay away.
I know.
Oh boy.
At least she got the fly.
Right.
Right
So the
before
fly won't
she-
be bothering us the rest of the time.
Before it went down the,
Yeah.
the
Down the
drain there,
hatch.
down the hatch.
So
What do we got there? Do you know what kind of
I think
cheeses
this
these
looks
are?
like a white cheddar,
It does.
if I'm not mistaken.
And the other looks like a whiny goat,
It does.
which I'm
And
so in love with
This
right now.
looks like
salami.
salami.
Salami. And who doesn't love a good salami?
Preach on, girl. Preach on. We were just taking a guess at what these cheeses are as I talk with my mouth full.
Looks like it's a white cheddar. Yes.
white
yes.
cheddar.
She's too busy checking her email.
Yeah, it's a lovely white cheddar,
An aged white cheddar.
Aged white cheddar.
a Syrah-soaked goat cheese,
Wow.
Okay. We were
and
taking
an
guesses.
Italian dry salami.
Treating us right tonight. You can
So-
come back anytime.
I wanted to make a note on this particular wine. I'm going to geek out for a moment.
Go
Do
for
it.
it. Go for it.
Get your geek on.
So, a lady named Daphne Glorian makes this wine, and my partner Lindsay and I had the pleasure of going to a wine event last year called Hospice de Rhone,
Right.
and one of the sessions was all devoted to pre-rot wines, and Daphne was up there, and she's one of the top female winemakers in the world, and
With
Eric-
the name like Daphne, how could you not be?
right? And they were showing us what it's like to pick the grapes in this particular region, and everything that the terroir is basically on a mountain.
Right.
So they have to like strap themselves into belts and get on the side and like kind of scooch around the mountain during harvest time to pick the grapes and to tend the grapes. And then I think that's why it gives these wines from this region such an interesting and complex
Yep.
flavor, because there's so much going on with their terroir. And the guy Eric Solomon Selections, he fell in love with her wine and then fell in love with her
Oh, so sweet.
and married her. Yeah. So
Oh, well, that's a sweet story. I hope it works out for them.
yeah, I mean, but she also makes so we were at this event, and we were there with Todd and Kelly from Dos Cabezas, and they were telling me all about, you know, these folks, and they were like, I hope we get to taste the Chloe Erasmus, which is kind of the top of the line wine for them, and I think it goes for probably $3.50 a bottle.
That's
And-
$350.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, not $2 chuck.
No.
So they ended up pouring these wines, and if you've never been to a wine tasting event, what happens is you go and you sit down and you have this white, like almost tablecloth out in front of you, and all these circles for all these wines, and you sit down, and all of the wine glasses are, you know, they have a pretty healthy pour because the event comes with a cost, so they treat you right.
Yes.
And the last one was Chloe Erasmus, and in this particular session, there weren't that many people there. And so there were like a bunch of empties. Well, they were not empty. Not when I wasn't done with them.
Nice.
So
She's going around and drinking everybody's
Lindsay-
little leftovers.
Lindsay and I were looking at all of the like empty glasses, and this Chloe Erasmus that was just sitting there. One of these days, somebody is going to surprise me with a bottle of Chloe Erasmus. Somebody who really loves me, Lindsay.
really, Lindsay loves me.
Yeah, and in fact, she actually got me this bottle and another one of theirs. I forget what it's called, but yeah, she got me a couple of theirs for my birthday. One of these years, though, I'm holding out for the Chloe
Yeah.
Erasmus. We were just making our way around, picking up the glasses of wine,
I don't
just
blame
going
you.
to town on them.
I would have been pushing you out of the way for them. If
I know
were
you would
there.
have been. We would have been fighting. There was
would've been
plenty to go
broken
around, and we would
bottles.
still
Yes.
fought. He said, "Back off,
Mine.
bitch."
Mine.
I
Throwing
will
the
cut
table.
you.
Prostitution whore.
So yeah, that's how good these wines are. So that's
Yeah.
why when I saw what you brought, I had a small. This is a birthday wine for me. So the fact that
Oh,
you're
yeah.
sharing it, sorry.
It's a great wine. Did you smell it?
Damn medication.
Smell
yes.
it. The first time I had this wine was at Tarbell's,
Ooh.
over on 32nd Street in Camelback. Mark
It's not very
Tarbell,
good. You wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's swill. Mm-hmm.
the Iron Chef. Was he Iron Chef or Master Chef
Who
or
are you
Top
talking
Chef? Mark Tarbell. He was in one of that. I think he was Iron Chef.
Yeah.
So his restaurant here in Phoenix on Camelback and
Yes.
32nd Street. I had this wine there probably about a year and a half ago, and fell in love with it. It's just so, I don't know, like it's really
Tasty.
complex, really
It
tasty.
is. It's kind of
and
like figgy.
It
It's kind of
is,
got a
yeah.
fig kind of thing going on, and a little bit of date
Yeah.
almost. It's.
But in
really-
addition to the
yeah.
fruit, you also get a little bit of that earthiness that you can,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you know, from like you were talking about from the terroir. So it's a great wine. Pick it up. You can find it online. I'm trying to think where else I've seen it. I haven't seen it in any local
Yeah, I bought mine,
liquor stores. So
and by I mean Lindsay
Yep.
bought ours online.
yeah. So and it's actually pretty reasonably priced around $20-$25 a bottle.
Yeah.
So definitely worth a shot. And that whole region, if you haven't
so good.
tried wines from Pre-Rot, check it out. Spanish wines are kind of my thing right now. I'm really, especially like these and Rioja and Rioja. Or which
Rioja.
Yeah, I'm thinking Rojo, the color.
Rojo.
Rojo.
I'm Libby Miller, and this is Rojo. Did you guys ever notice that on NPR?
Yeah,
we talked
it's
about
on
that.
everything. It's on every newscast. Any Hispanic
I'm Michelle
person.
Rodriguez.
I love it. I love
It's
it.
so
And you
great.
live in LA, and they do it because
All
all the
the time.
streets are, La Cienega. And, we have an accident on La Cienega.
On back to non-regional dialect voice.
So, so it's a great wine. Definitely check it out. And Tempranillos, Spain is known for their Tempranillos. And a lot of really good stuff. A lot of really good, reasonably priced wines coming out of Spain as well. So
Napa is so last season.
Napa is 2010. Really after that
I'm totally
amazing,
moving
really
on to
after the
Spanish.
amazing 2007 harvest, we haven't seen much greatness out of Napa. I'm just kidding. I love Napa. It's among my favorites, and Sonoma. And I'm
As all of
hoping
your
to be there
Napa
next
friends
month.
unfollow.
I know, right? Gay Wine Weekend coming up next month,
Oh wow!
June
It
14th,
felt
15th,
like
and
you
16th.
just came back from that.
I know.
Every weekend is a gay one.
It is.
Literally the
It
last time
is.
I was on the show, you just came back. So
Really?
this is
Yeah.
like
It's been-
Groundhog Day for me.
Pretty much.
Let's think about what this is like for me.
Okay,
'Cause that's what's really
generally what matters. So we had tried to get Mark and Gary from Out in the Vineyard on the show tonight. Unfortunately, Mark is on safari in South
Oh
Africa.
wow, that's rough.
As he's down there planning an Out in the Vineyard
a
wine
gay
tour.
safari?
Yes, there's
Oh
a
my gosh!
Out in the
Those
Vineyard
exist?
is sponsoring a wine tour in South Africa, and part of that will be a safari. So we will
A
definitely
gay
keep you
wine
posted.
safari.
Yes.
I love it.
I think it's going to be in August, if I remember correctly, but we'll definitely get the details on that as we talk to them a little more. But definitely check out outinthevineyard.com for the Gay Wine Weekend details. Really wrapping up. They're pulling together a top-notch event again. It's 3 days, wine tours, the tea dance, the big gay auction and brunch on Sunday.
Wow.
And they are bringing on some top-notch winemakers again this year. So be sure
Now,
to check that out.
You may have covered this in an earlier episode, but do you have to pay for each of the individual activities, or is it is there a weekend pass?
There
that you
is a
can-
weekend pass. You can get the VIP pass, and it covers everything. And I believe, let me just pull it up here. So it would cover, they have a reception and event on Friday night, in addition to a wine tasting passport in the Sonoma Plaza. In the Sonoma Plaza, there are, I don't even remember how many different tasting rooms. There are a ton of them. But they've arranged a tasting pass with 10 of the tasting rooms in the Sonoma Plaza, which is amazing because you can walk around, try all the wines, and walk back to your hotel, which, is in the plaza as well.
Is the safe way to go.
That is the safe way to go. So, and then there's they're doing winemakers dinners on Friday night as well, with actually one of my favorite wineries, Lassiter, from Sonoma. They're doing one there. La Crema is doing it again. Sebastiani, among others. And then there are 3 or 4 different tours you can do on Saturday if you don't want to do your own thing. They've arranged 3 or 4 different tours, which you can buy the passes for that. Then the key, the flagship event, the Twilight Tea Dance, which is again that Saturday night. There'll be tons of wineries pouring there. I don't know exactly how many. I think last year they had like 15. And then there's an after party at the El Dorado Hotel, and Sunday morning is the brunch. But yeah, you can buy tickets individually. In addition to, after the brunch, there's going to be a pool party at the El Dorado Kitchen.
Of course there is.
Which sounds like a lot of fun. So you can buy the VIP Party Pass, which gets you into everything, and that is $265. And then each of the events range from $25 for the Sonoma Plaza, Plaza Walk, $25 for that, up to $150 for a VIP pass to the Twilight Tea Dance and reception there. So a bunch of different options. You can, do your own wine tours during the day, which is, is fun. There's so many different options. It's ridiculous. So outinthevineyard.com. We will see you in Sonoma.
Very soon.
A month.
Wow.
A little over a month. So
right when it's
definitely check it
really
out.
heating up here in the valley.
Yeah.
It's a good time to
It
get out.
should be beautiful weather in Sonoma, and it's last year when I was there, it was actually the day we got there, it was one of the hottest days they've ever had, but then after that it cooled down and was just perfect weather the rest of the time. So well worth the trip, well worth the weekend away, and plenty of wine.
I love segues.
That is by far one of the most excellent
Isn't that a good
ones I've
one?
heard. Yeah.
It's a good one. Speaking of winemaker
Speaking of
dinners.
segues,
Speaking of segues.
I'm so smooth.
Smooth.
So Nathan,
Move.
I don't know if you've already talked about this, but winemaker dinners are really fun.
Yep.
I've talked to you guys both about this, and Nathan, you were able to go along, but Quiescence Restaurant is having a whole Arizona winemaker dinner series.
Mm-hmm.
They've already had 2 winemakers come in and do the series. Sand Reckoner came in on April 4th, and Lindsay and I were able to attend that one, and it was fantastic. And then April 25th, Nathan and I were able to go to the Dos Cabezas wine dinner, and it was so tasty. I never thought in my life I would try a pickled rose petal,
right?
but I did, and I said,
Wow.
I'm
This
officially
is
fancy
tasty.
now.
I'm officially fancy.
It was really good. And
It's fancy official.
it is. I think you
She's got the
like on
stamp
Twitter,
and
you're going to get the verified
Yes.
check. Fancy.
But
Fancy verification.
yeah, they have a couple more coming up on May 16th. I know that Callahan is doing a winemaker dinner there, and those wines are always really, really amazing. I
Is it
think
Callahan or Callaghan?
Callaghan, I've heard both. It's kind of like Bon Iver, Bon Iver. I don't really know what to say. Which kind of
Tomato.
Which kind of makes him that much cooler.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know, nobody
He's a
really
mystery.
knows. He is a
Yep.
mystery. He's a man of mystery.
And a really nice guy.
Yeah, very nice guy. And he's got great wines. So May 16th, that's happening. And then Lawrence Dunham Vineyards is going to be May 29th, followed by Pillsbury on June 6th. So
Now there's a character.
Oh
That's
my.
Sam Pillsbury.
Sam Pillsbury. I've had the pleasure of sitting next to him at many a wine dinner, and
Yeah.
he is an animated guy.
He, for those of you that don't know Sam's story, he was a movie director, producer, like documentary
I think
filmmaker
he still does.
from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And just a character.
Yeah.
So, and makes great wines.
Yes, he does indeed. I like the Wild Child Red for summer. I think that's really fun.
We've done a couple of wine dinners together, right? We did the one
Yep.
at F&B.
Yep.
Have either of you ever done Il Toco's Culinary
Yes.
Mischief? So I just did that this last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, those
and,
are great.
Or not just last weekend. What am I saying? It was probably out 2 weekends ago
Gabriel
now.
Bertuccini.
Oh my gosh.
He actually.
He's a very handsome Italian man.
He is.
Not
He's
that
It's
pretty.
no secret. I mean, I think I announced it in front of 200 people at an HRC event. I have a big crush on Gabe. I
Yeah,
always
you're not
have.
alone. I think he just kind of crosses all lines.
He does.
Women, men.
Especially
Yeah.
straight women.
Yeah.
They go
Oh my gosh.
crazy
They
for him.
really
Yeah.
lose
They
their
really
mind.
do.
And he does a lot of good work. I mean, he
does.
he donates to virtually every
He
charity
really
event
does.
that goes on in the city. He donates a dinner. So
And
He
you know,
really does.
And if you ever go to AZ88, you'll probably bump into
you
him.
probably will.
Because that's where I always see
yeah,
him.
I think he
He
actually
sets up
has a
residence
table.
there.
I
Every
think he
time
does
I
have
go,
a table
I
there.
run into him.
So for those of you that don't know, Il Toco and Culinary Mischief is sort of an underground, not really so underground, dinner here in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona, that's run by Gabriel
Bertuccini.
who's a chef that's based here in Phoenix and New York and Milan. And
Florence or Milan?
oh, maybe it is.
Oh, are
I
we
think
gonna
he's
do
from
that?
Florence.
I think it's Florence.
And I kicked her in the shins as I said it.
Daggers. So he is a super fun guy and incredibly talented. And I was lucky enough to experience it for the first time myself. It's not a cheap night. You know, it's a pretty pricey dinner.
Worth every penny,
But
though.
it's like 6 courses. I mean, the food we had was incredible. It was Colors. I think he's titling this new series Colors of Spring. Of course, Colors, C-O.
Colors.
Colors.
Yes. To show his internationality.
A man of mystery. A man of mischief. Culinary mischief.
Culinary mischief. 6 courses, tons of wine. Fun company. I mean, we had a group with us, but we were paired with the rest of the table of people we didn't know, and so it was a lot of fun getting to know people. A lot of foodies and people that enjoy wine and whatnot, and the courses were incredible. I mean, by the time we got to, I think, the 3rd course,
Elastic pants.
yeah, we were all just like, oh my god, what he's
He
killing us
doesn't
here.
serve tasting menus.
No. He serves
you get your
full
money's
portions. Full portions, full glasses.
6 full portions. Wear your overalls.
Right? Wear your
I'm not kidding.
wear your Thanksgiving pants for sure.
Indeed.
And it's always in a really incredible venue. This time it was at the Biltmore in this super swanky condo that overlooked the golf course that was totally, you know, decked out with all the stainless steel and marble. They had this crazy, and this is the strangest thing to bring up, but they had this crazy toilet.
Was it a bidet?
It wasn't a bidet. It looked a lot like a bidet, but I know that. But this was a strange toilet. It actually had like programmable settings on it so that you could have like person 1 and person 2.
What?
There was that was in a movie recent. No,
So person 1,
I like a
the
fresh
I
toilet.
saw that. Yeah.
I like a fresh bowl. What is that from?
Ally Beale.
That's right. So the toilet seat would either go up for person 1 or you could set it to go down for person 2. It was just crazy. It was like,
That is
I don't know.
Crazy.
And then it had-
Isn't it just
Was
as hard
warm?
to push person 2 if you want the toilet seat
Just to
down? By the
lift-
time you could have pushed person 2,
You
the
could just
toilet seat
lift-
would already be down
right?
or up,
Whichever your
depending on
preference
your
was.
preference. Yes.
Exactly.
But what if person 1 wanted the seat down?
This is like what's
To
your,
do number
your
2.
sleep number?
Exactly. It was like sleep number for toilets. But yes, it was very interesting.
Was the seat
I'm
heated?
I'm sorry to say that this was the thing that stuck out the most. But at least from the
Aside from
venue.
the
The
food.
funny
From the
thing,
venue perspective.
the funny thing about his events is it's super cool because it's like cuisine meets wine meets interior design
Yeah.
meets awesome bathrooms with programmable buttons.
Right?
Right.
Exactly.
But seriously, the places that he selects are so unique and just
And it's always
cool
a secret.
and
It
special.
is. It's a secret
always-
until about 24 to 40 hours
Yeah.
before, and then you get that exciting
You get
email
that
that tells
email.
you where it's going to be.
and a members only jacket.
Exactly. So if you
I
have
love my
not been,
members
you
only
need to
jacket.
check out Il Toco Food, ILTOCCOFOOD.com. And you have to, if you get on the mailing list, you have to respond very quickly.
You do. It
Yeah.
sells out. Generally, they only have capacity for like 24,
35 people.
35 people.
He typically does 35. He's now doing it 2 nights.
Yep.
So he'll do a Friday night and Saturday night. And if the venue yields this, he will allow more. He can expand it. But it really is quite an experience. If you have not been, I highly recommend it.
And he also does the wine events. He's been doing like Saturday
Bacchus,
afternoon
right?
wine
Bacchus,
tasting.
yeah.
Yep.
Which is the what is it? The god of wine.
Yes.
And going back to if you were interested in the Quiescence
yes.
winemaker dinners, the website is quiescencerestaurant.com.
Spell quiescence for us because we're all remedial here.
QUIESSENCE.com.
Quiescence.
Restaurant.com. Quiescencerestaurant.com.
Oh gosh, it's all a mess now.
Oh,
Just
we
gonna
will
have to
need
do
to
it
get
again.
that link up on the
We'll
website.
get it on the show
Oh, you
notes.
guys are
in the show
fancy now.
notes.
You have links.
We do. We have show notes. We'll get that up.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good times.
Well, I mean, there are so many of these types of experiences that go on, and I mean, I think that really what's happening is just the fact that people get together and they like to have food and they like to talk about food, and I mean,
And talk about politics and religion and
yeah, that's always fun. Not in my house.
That's the table I ended up, at least when I went.
Oh,
And it was
did you
fun.
really?
It was fun. It was a
Oh.
rousing conversation, and I think we
Wow.
talked about everything you're not supposed to talk about.
I'm so glad I did not end up at that table.
Yeah.
It was a fun table.
But that's
That's
good.
good.
We were
that's good.
boisterous.
Yeah, well, that too. The one aspect of it that I liked as well is that in between each course they got up and they explained what each course was as it was coming out, as well as the wine. So there was a specialist there that knew lots of stuff about wine. He wasn't actually like a sommelier or anything, but he was.
That's the cool thing. If you
New
ever
stuff.
get a chance to go to a winemaker dinner, if you're into wine, into food, they do such an impeccable job of pairing. If it's a winemaker dinner, most times they're pairing the food to the wine, which is really
it's a
cool
different
because
approach.
it's
It's neat.
usually it's usually the other way around. So it's nice to be able to see the winemakers talk about how this wine came to be, any special stories or kind of unique things about the wine that people should know.
Like Todd talking about getting his son drunk.
Like that. Indeed.
It didn't happen. It's a joke. It's an old wives' tale. It's an old wives'
Don't
tale.
listen to anything he says
Yeah,
with his mouth full.
That kid's destined
Nice.
to be a winemaker, though. But yeah, I mean, the winemaker dinners are cool because you get to kind of geek out with a subculture of people that are as interested in wine and food as you are, and it's like you've gone to a Star Trek convention for foodies.
Yes.
It's like
You
we're
know,
all-
and actually,
yeah.
I take back what I said about talking about religion and politics. I don't think it would actually be that scary when you already have food and wine in common.
Exactly.
Because it's not necessarily that your politics are going to align completely, but you have you have a much more you have a much better chance of having civil discourse.
You have a common thread because you love
Exactly.
wine, and you're probably,
and you're
a
probably
little bit
drinking
buzzed.
wine. Exactly. So everything's a little tempered, and you're in much better shape.
You're like, yeah, what you said.
exactly.
Exactly. Well, we did fail to mention at the top of the show to join us at qtalkamerica.com in the
Oh,
chat room.
hey.
Watch us live. Listen live.
Chat room?
There is a chat room.
What's
God, look
that
at you
website?
guys. You guys go.
qtalkamerica.com.
You go, Glen Coco.
Right along the top. It's
And none for you,
butter
Gretchen
carb.
Wieners.
Whatever. I'm getting cheese fries.
Get in. We're going shopping, bitch.
Oh.
Boo you
Oh,
whore.
boo you whore.
Now you got me
I want to
started.
lose 3
Oh
pounds.
god! Oh god! Somebody stop him before Borat comes out.
Oh, and for
you
those
know
of
what?
you not familiar,
I'm filtering myself.
yeah,
I know you are. It's good.
I can hold on to the Borat.
we appreciate it.
And so does your wife.
Very good.
Oh, there it is.
The Borat count has begun.
So, yeah, qtalkamerica.com. You can listen live, watch live. We're on video. Wait. Oh, look.
That's the part I
Look,
forgot
that's me.
about.
That's
Do you guys know you warn a bitch because
Oh,
I-
sorry.
I had bread and cheese in a sandwich that I made over here. I held it over here trying to get away from the mic, realizing
Oh, there's a camera.
there's a camera. Hi. Yes, I'm making a cheese sandwich and going to town on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're all so thrilled about the video.
We are.
Oh yeah.
It is such a nice touch.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yep.
Oh.
So, it's good. Damn you, video.
You live stream. Yes.
Radio for a reason.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Got a face for radio.
So, Claudine, where have you eaten recently?
Oh gosh, we've been running around quite a
Wait,
bit.
we went to Scratch.
We did. We went to Scratch. I have a. He's like,
I
what?
just had like the name of it. Yeah, I was like,
Scratch
whatever.
pastries.
Scratch,
Was that the place? Wait, what did we go to?
So we went to Palettes,
Pallets and Scratches.
and Scratch is
right
next
over there.
door. So
Okay.
Palettes is the place that I talked about on our last show, which was really,
that's right.
rough. And we kind of expected it to
He
be rough.
slept through beer training.
He slept through beer training.
Yeah.
I was explaining
Yeah.
how Lindsay was, who is probably the nicest person on the earth, was really trying with this guy. Really trying to give him
What do you have?
Do you have this? Do you have that?
Do you have
Do you
Bud Light?
have this?
Right.
And then she was just like, forget it. What do you got? Just give me, bring
Why
me
don't
something
you
you've
just
got.
tell me what you have? Rochelle.
Exactly.
Thank you for going movie phone.
So our experience there at Palettes was But we did. Nathan and I and Mish went to dinner the other day and hopped over to Scratch Pastries.
Yep.
And that place was pretty good. I had been to brunch a couple days before. It was tasty at brunch. There was really good omelets. I had the chef special, which had some good truffle oil and mushrooms, and it was very tasty. And they lacked a little bit in the actual Nutella in the Nutella croissant, which is very disappointing to Kelly.
Well,
That
that's
is.
just a bummer. If you're gonna say Nutella, you better bring the
better
Nutella.
Right?
bring
Bring it.
the Nutella.
You better
Yeah.
bring it.
Better
Don't-
take that
don't-
Nutella on.
You should
I
see
had a
Kelly's
Nutella crepe
face.
at Chibo that was
Oh
amazing.
my God! Don't even get me started on that thing.
Oh God. Well, I've got
Oh my
one
God. I
better
want to
for you.
lay in a blanket of that Nutella. I want to wrap myself in those crepes, and I want to top myself with strawberries and slap it on
And
the Nutella.
powdered sugar.
Oh, and sugar me up.
Sugar her up.
Pour
There you
some
go. There's
sugar
some
on
instructions
it.
for you later.
Yep.
So yeah,
Sadly
so
excited.
Scratch was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The pastries were tasty, and the service was good. You know, that actually ended up being the owner
Oh, really?
who was our server that night. I just did a review, and it's coming out at echomag.com this upcoming Thursday. Check it out there. It
Very
was
good.
it was a good experience overall. I think the decor in there is quite nice. It's sort of kind of like a blank canvas, it's black and white, and then they've got some really good punches of color with on the doilies on the table that are like bright
Yeah.
neon and stuff. And
Doilies.
yeah, it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So that was good. That was a
was
good
good.
night. And then one of my favorite new places that I seem to find myself at like almost every week is on Central. It's called Zook's.
What?
You guys
I
been
haven't
there?
been there yet. No, I think you talked about it briefly last time.
I love
I
new
did,
places.
or I think
It's
maybe
right
we
next to
talked about it.
Macy's.
It's right next to Macy's, and it's just a little sandwich shop, but they do sandwiches with an edge, is what they call it. And so it's that retail shop that's right between Macy's and Hula's. So it's been empty for a while, and I've been eyeing it and seeing what was going on in there. And when it started to show signs of life, I got pretty excited. It's right at the base of Landmark Towers, basically. And it's nice. They have open seating and oversized windows on the front end of the building that just open right up. I think
Watch
Nathan's
it.
had a little too much.
Hello.
Or
It's
not
pretty
enough.
good. It seats about 30 to 40 people. It's a pretty good size space, and as long as the weather holds out pretty well, it's good. You can sit inside or outside. It's very nice. It's right by the
or
light
first
rail.
available.
Or first available, whatever works for you. Although don't be fooled, it's quick service. But so the owner of this place, her name is Carol Meyer. And she was, when I first got there, she was sort of incognito. She was disguised as like a line cook. And so we walked up to the front and we
Sneaky.
started
It's
chatting
like
with
undercover
somebody.
bosses.
She
Yeah.
was. But she was super nice, and the guy at the counter was nice. In fact, when I was sort of hemming and hawing over which one to order, I finally decided on something, and then they said, "Oh, if you don't like it, we'll get you another one, no problem."
that's
So I was like,
nice.
well, that's really nice. So just the long and short of it on these sandwiches is they're basically kind of a saucer shape that they take this bread that they bake in some special oven that she invented. And it comes out in this shape. They slice it in half, and then they put it in another machine that kind of paninis it together. Is that a word? Paninis
Yeah.
it?
Hey,
Is it a verb?
anything can be a verb.
So it paninis it together in this way that makes this really cool kind of disc, if you will, and then they slice it in half, but they fill it with all kinds of great stuff. So you can have, crazy stuff like, brie and apples and turkey.
It's like pasties, but
It
different.
is, but in a whole sort of new way. So one of the ones they have is almond butter, banana, Nutella.
Stop it. Stop right now.
And then they cover it with powdered sugar.
What?
And it's on their breakfast menu, but here's a little hint. Look, here's the picture. It's on their breakfast menu, but it is available all day long if you so choose to enjoy it. They've got
I feel
nice
like the
fresh
Barry
salads.
White song is
Yeah,
starting now.
It is.
Dun, 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 dun. Boom, boom, boom,
They've got some
boom.
good stuff here. They have a nice little fresh kale salad that goes with most of their sandwiches, and it's good. Or chips if you so choose. But check it out. And the one thing that I really like, which I haven't used the service yet, but apparently they have a mobile app, or at least their mobile website. You can order right there, and then you just like drive up and it's ready
Wow.
for you.
Very
I
nice.
know.
And convenient.
I know.
Very
Stop it.
nice.
So check it out. Carol is very nice. She once she identified who she was, we chatted even a little bit more, and that's how I sort of found out more about her background. She grew up in North Africa.
I thought you were going to say Dakota. And I got really excited for some reason. Oh, North Dakota.
Oh yeah, North Dakota.
Oh,
No, she
sure.
didn't.
Would you like my round sandwich?
That just sounded Irish.
That did. She segued into Leprechaun.
I said I'm rusty, you guys. God.
Oh, got me Lucky Charms.
Oh, sure.
wait,
Very
wait.
nice.
Wrong country.
Oh, there it is. When in doubt, go right to Borat.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, she grew up in North Africa, and in this very international household, and so she's an interesting lady. So stop and say hello and check out one of their sandwiches.
Is
It's
it
really
Zeeks
tasty.
or Zooks?
Zooks.
Zooks.
Zookz.
Zooks.
Sandwiches with an edge.
So you mentioned something about truffle oil. Do we have any thoughts on truffle oil? I always feel like chefs poo-poo truffle oil. They always say, I don't know. I feel like it's like the camouflage.
Really, actually,
I
I
think
mean,
actually that's a really good word. It is a camouflage.
It needs to be done
covering,
right.
It's covering
Yeah.
other things.
And in moderation,
In
as with all
moderation.
things.
again, I go back to Chibo because they have a pizza that is mushroom and something and truffle oil. I forget what it's called, but it's
Crust.
my favorite. Like it is delicious. They do truffle oil well.
Let's go to
at
Chibo.
Yeah.
Let's go now.
Right now.
Good night, everybody.
And we're done. We're out. Sorry, you'll find us at Chibo.
You lost me at crepe.
Nutella, what?
She's literally shaking over here.
She's got that
I
crazy
have
look
not
in her
seen
eye.
that look in her eyes in a
Crazy
while.
eye.
Oh, it's happened twice tonight when I pulled out the black slate,
Oh,
and
yes.
then when I mentioned the Nutella crepe at
Yes.
Chibo. Yes, so
She lost it.
Yeah, I totally forgot in the beginning about the video part.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
good times.
It's fine.
I'm just now realizing what I did.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
So when I was in Athens, Georgia, we went to this place called Heirloom. It's a little restaurant, holds probably like Zook's like 30 people. It is. They do everything locally sourced. They have locally sourced sausage.
Hey, oh.
Doesn't everyone?
I know, right? Right. No, it was fantastic. We
Homegrown.
went there for brunch on Sunday, and it was just a lot of fun.
You really loved Athens,
I
didn't you?
did. I really did.
Like a
Didn't you
Greek
notice-
Isle almost.
Like, I think
know.
you just got back on Facebook so that you could talk about Athens. Because
you?
everything was
It's
about
possible.
it.
Admit it,
It was
admit it.
fantastic. I was living
I've been on-
vicariously
I know.
through you.
And the fun thing was, so Kelly, Claudine's woman, is like the biggest REM fan.
You make it sound like I just picked
man.
her up.
Hard-hearted Avenger of haggis.
Whoa,
Whoa, man.
I don't. How do we
Sweet
refer to her at
Harriet.
this point? You're not married.
We're
Your
not
partner,
married. We do
your
have the same last name.
lesbian lover.
Oh,
you know.
Jesus.
Have you guys ever heard this comedian, Jen Kirkland? Have you ever heard this?
No.
She has a whole, like,
Shtick on this.
bit on how, like, men just avoid commitment and avoid it, and how women are like, oh, we went on a date, and she's like, and they went to a hospital. Oh, we're married! Oh, we're married! We had a ceremony!
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
That's me.
So, Kelly is the like world's biggest REM fan, and
Huge.
as
She loves
people, as you may or may not know, REM started
to John
in,
Mayer.
in Athens, Georgia.
They're
No?
neck and neck.
They're neck and neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun to take pictures of little REM, you know.
I know you guys were like
Historical.
BFF during your trip because
Yeah.
every time I'd look over, she's like got a big grin on her face and she's texting. And I'm like, who are you texting at 11 o'clock at night? And then she's like, oh, Nathan's sending me more
Yeah.
pictures about REM. And I'm like, okay.
So I gave Kelly a virtual tour of
love it.
Athens through the little historical
Aw.
REM sites.
Nice.
It was fun. But in addition to the bar scene and all of that, they have a great food scene too. One of the top chefs.
It's not just all peaches.
No, it's not all
And
peaches.
boys.
Don't get me started.
Oh, boy.
Boys and peaches.
There's another place called I think it's 5 and 10, which is in an old like 5 and 10 like nickel and dime store, whatever those old pharmacy stores used to be called. Because in Athens, you cannot change, like if it's a historic building, you cannot do anything to the front of the building. Like if it's like they have a crazy historical preservation committee.
Sounds like my neighborhood.
Who will actually like sit in trees if you are even thinking of cutting it down.
Wow.
And it's like
Bunch of hippies.
there are a bunch of hippies, but
Crazy
like
beatnik.
southern, just southern charm, and everybody's so friendly. I mean, you're like in the grocery store and people just start talking to you. I'm like,
Do they have accents?
first,
Did you
yeah.
see
What
Paula
are their
Dean?
accents
Yeah.
like?
Did you meet Paula
My
Dean?
I did.
Booter
She's in
finger.
Savannah.
That's right.
Booter and all.
Booter and all.
My booter finger slipped. Have you guys ever seen that SNL skit where Kristen Wiig does Paula Dean?
No.
Wait, this has gone so many places I didn't mean it to. Kristen Wiig does Paula Dean.
And we're just struggling to get to the
fantastic.
food of Athens.
Yeah. In addition to, there's a coffee shop called Jittery Joe's, which is
Oh, I saw
That's
your post
cute.
today. Yes.
amazing. They have great coffee, and the
Cute name.
roaster is that like where they roast the beans is like 2 blocks from my friend's house. So you can actually, when they're roasting, you can smell, like you walk outside his door and you can smell the roasting coffee beans, which
I
is
bet
one
that
of my
just makes
favorite.
you flip your bean. Oh my God. We're in Georgia.
Oh, Georgia.
I'm going to flip my bean.
So we went into their main place where they do the roasting, and the guy that does all the roasting like walks out and is like, "Hey, you guys new? I haven't ever seen you here." And it's like,
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, come back. Let me show you our roasting." And like was explaining all of the different blends they do and like how long it takes. And he's like, you know, they have bags and bags and bags of like those. What's the bags? You know, like
Burlap?
the burlap. Burlap bags everywhere with all these different countries on them. And he's like going through explaining how the different beans are, and like it was
Wow.
it was pretty crazy. But the nicest
More than just
people,
a cup of coffee. You're
It
getting an
is.
education
You are
here.
getting an education in coffee.
Hopefully
which-
after you've had your coffee.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
my coffee
I wouldn't
in
like
my
to be
hand.
delayed
Yeah.
that much.
Right.
but
No,
that's
had
nice.
my coffee in my hand and got the
Yeah.
whole tour. So very nice people and really great coffee. So if you're in Athens, check out Jittery Joe's.
Jittery Joe's.
Jittery
Yep.
Joe. That's awesome.
Yep. A lot of fun.
Chevrolet Joe. Jittery Joe.
So
Very good.
anyway,
Guys, is there really a listener calling?
is that,
I don't know. We might have that.
We didn't get. I don't think we activated
No,
the line
we're not there
tonight.
yet.
But if you want to leave a voicemail for us, call 888-9. No, I can never do the number right.
888-791-9294.
My dyslexia
We
always
just
kicks
don't let
in.
him talk about
Yeah.
numbers.
No,
I'm just
numbers are
impressed
not
by
my friend.
everything.
Yeah.
I know. She's
It's
like,
live.
It's
There's
shiny.
cameras.
It's
There's
neat.
a call in.
It's fancy.
I remember doing this in Joe's apartment.
Right? When the fire alarm went off?
Yeah.
We were like, I
That
guess
was
we'll have to
something else.
pause and
Yeah.
return.
That was
Hold
something
tight,
else.
kids.
Whole episode on bacon.
We'll be right back.
Stand by. So I just got a tip from a foodie friend of mine that put a message out about the new restaurant by Chef Justin Beckett that's going to be housed in the Newton complex at the old
Heard about
Beefeaters
this.
restaurant.
Yep.
We've all heard sort of
This
what's
is
happening,
exciting.
but apparently it's going to
Very
be called.
exciting.
I'd like to hear your opinions about this. It's going to be called Southern Rail.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
I want to laugh and I don't know why.
Because it's right there by the light rail.
It
It's
is,
like,
yeah.
really? That's anyway.
But it's on the northern end of the light rail.
Yeah, so it's totally confusing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, apparently it's inspired by flavors of the American South. The menu will feature cuisine from the Carolinas to the Gulf Coast,
Georgia.
Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. Imagine that.
Wait a minute. These
Wow.
are. Wait, what?
I know.
Wait.
That doesn't really sound like a whole lot of
That doesn't sound
narrowing
cohesive
down.
to me.
No.
So I'll repeat it. Inspired by flavors of the American South, the menu will feature cuisine from the Carolinas to the Gulf Coast, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona.
So
he's talking
basically
about
anything
South.
under the Mason-Dixon line,
Correct,
you are
correct.
you're good to go.
Got a hankering for the Mason-Dixon? Come on in.
So apparently this is going to redefine well-known Cajun and Creole dishes and other
that's
Southern
cool.
classics. The menu will be complemented with an all-American wine list, Hopefully some local Arizona wines, local
I'm
beer, and
sure.
handcrafted cocktails featuring boutique spirits. And Southern Rail is going to be open for lunch, dinner, a social hour. I like that better
I
than
like
happy
that
hour.
too. Yeah.
And weekend brunch. And they're targeting November for an
Yeah.
open day.
And that's going to be a great space. There's going to be the Changing Hand bookstore is opening up
Oh,
in
that's
there.
so cool.
And
I know,
love
I'm
that.
really
yeah.
excited
Mixed
about the
use
fact that
spaces
they're
are
doing that.
super
Yeah,
cool.
it's going to be great.
You know, that space was just neglected for so long, and I wonder if they'll keep the Beefeater sign.
I don't know.
You know, it's
They're-
dilapidated
yeah,
and
it
completely
is.
falling apart, so I doubt it.
Maybe
but,
they will rejuvenate it.
But it's kind of the whole concept, like My Florist still has their big
Yeah.
sign,
Yeah.
and I mean, I dig those old signs around Phoenix, especially old Phoenix.
Yep.
I think you guys have all been to Ignite Phoenix events.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
But-
saw someone
We
speak
saw somebody
there.
speak about
I wonder who was
wine.
that?
No,
Who
that's
was
not
that
even where I
wino?
was going.
Uh-huh. It's like, oh right, I forgot that I spoke.
Check it out at
No, don't do
wineday.com.
that.
Don't do
Don't
that.
don't do it. There was one guy though.
Didn't you
that
talk about bungholes?
I did.
No, she talked about bronies.
Slap that bunghole. No, there was a guy that talked about all of the old signs
Yes.
in Phoenix, and
I
I thought
remember
that
that.
was super cool. Like they're like dinosaurs,
They
and they're
are.
like a dying breed. These signs that are
Well,
going
they
away. So
just-
hopefully they do like renovate it
something
and
to
do
it.
something with it.
Yeah, or at least sort of keep the font or keep the I don't know something to sort of
Some
pay
homage.
homage
Yeah.
to it. Yes,
Pay homage.
Homage.
There it is.
Some other good news is Aaron Chamberlain from St. Francis just opened this week down at Phoenix Public Market.
A little cafe.
Yeah, that
I
space has
see
been
that?
closed for.
You guys know so much.
Well, you know.
Tune into
try.
the show because they know
Tune
things.
Maybe you
in.
should be listening.
You know so much.
So that open. Actually, I think it opens today.
We were just driving by it
Yeah.
last night, and Kelly said, "What's that little place over there with the cafe?" And I said, "I don't know.
Yeah.
How do I know this stuff?"
So they're opening it.
Now you do.
Now I do.
I believe they're opening it today because they do the farmers market on Wednesday nights, or Wednesday night farmers market.
Yeah.
Are they still doing the Scottsdale Farmers Market?
Yeah, I believe
God,
so.
I used to love going.
It's so
If
far.
you've never been, I think
It is so far.
I think they still do it. I'm not up to
Yeah,
date
they
on my
do.
information, but F&B used to be there, and Charlene used to have her brioche donuts. Have you guys
Oh,
ever had
wow.
those?
Mm-mm.
Oh dear God!
That woman.
Stop it.
She is amazing.
She is amazing.
Good
Her,
Yep.
God. That team.
yeah,
That team, yeah, they do some amazing stuff. So
they do.
also coming up this weekend in Scottsdale, speaking of, is the American Beer Festival.
I can.
American Beer Festival.
America.
It's
Can I?
all-
Can I? American.
America. Yeah.
It's all the canned beers, like canned craft beers from all across the country, sponsored by Santan Brewery. So that
The
is
cans are where it's
happening.
at.
do you guys talk about beer at all? Because
We had beer. on
Glad
our
you
last-
listened to the last episode.
Wow, you are so not with it, sister.
seriously, you guys, I drink beer now.
Stop
It's
it.
weird.
I think we drank beer on an episode when you were part of,
Yes,
when you were
remember we
with
had
us,
the
and you
donut
said
beer?
everything tasted like saltine crackers.
It did, and I think my palate has changed. No,
She's moving on up.
She's growing up.
I am. Oh. Out of
Because
the
she's
mouths
drinking
of babes.
because she's drinking craft beer. She's growing up.
No, I seriously, I had a beer. It was from what is it? Breckenridge Brewery. It was agave nectar wheat beer.
Wow.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good stuff.
Yeah, but beer is like wine. I mean, there's so many different.
really- it's so
options,
complex.
and it is so.
Hops.
The hops.
Nice. We do love our hoppy beer. Green
Yeah.
Flash, all
Green
the good
Flash,
stuff. That's
yeah.
my favorite.
Had some Epicenter the other night.
That's some good
That's
stuff.
another good beer.
Yeah, we've had a couple of beer-centered
Yep.
episodes. The last one we had, what were the beers from? Where were the beers from?
We had 3 Arizona
It was because we
beers
were
and,
celebrating something. I don't know.
Being together.
Togetherness.
We had 3 Arizona beers and a Utah beer.
right, right.
So it was good.
Yeah.
Listen back, check it out. You can download it on iTunes.
That's right. We
Go
had
to
a visitor.
QTalkAmerica.com.
I'll listen from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also had our
I
friend
did, I do,
Slavo
I
from
tried.
Slavo Salt.
Slavo Salt. Yep.
SlavoSalt.com. Good stuff.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, Libby and I are talking about going down to help Todd and Kelly out at Dos Cabezas during harvest.
And I've had a couple of conversations with Todd and Kelly and also Rob and Sarah at Sand Reckoner. And I'm hoping that this summer is the time that we can go down and Nathan, you can experience what it's like to put the juice
Slap
in the
the
bottle
bunghole.
that you enjoy. Seriously, it is agony.
I bet.
It's agony.
But it's a good kind of agony. Lindsay and I went, and I was plastered by the end of the day, and not because I was sitting and sipping on wine, enjoying it.
Well,
I was.
it's because it was like any other day.
Where the hell's my waiter?
Mama's dry. Mama's dry.
Yeah, no, that's I hope that works out. It would be really fun because I'd love to
would
see
be.
you sweat.
Could be a good time.
She's acting as if I don't do any manual labor.
It's not that kind of manual labor she's talking about. That doesn't count, Nathan.
I am very active.
We're glad to hear that.
Yeah, no,
What are you
that'll be
talking
fun.
about?
Also around just like going and working at the wineries. If you're into that at all, they're always looking for volunteers. And especially as we start to get to the fall part of the season, they could use all the help they can get. So if you're at all interested in how wine gets into the bottle, or you just kind of want to go and get your hands dirty and get into the process, reach out to any winery.
Yep.
I know that they would love to have extra volunteers, and a lot of what they do is kind of supported by volunteers and people who come out and help them with that stuff, and it really is fun. It's a fun day out, and it helps you experience and appreciate what you're enjoying in your glass, and it's great to help out Arizona winemakers.
Well, and we talk about all the time, sort of demystifying the idea of that wine is so
Unapproachable.
unapproachable, and sort of this mystery.
It's farmers.
It really is.
Seriously.
It really is, and it's nice to be able to experience that and see that and get to know who they are and taste the fruits of their labor.
Literally fruits.
Literally.
Literally.
Oi, oi.
Oh, goodness me. So,
Yeah, we have a couple more minutes, but while we do, has anybody been over to Gazooks lately or yet?
no, I have not.
That's a
new place.
That's a new place.
Enchiladas
I know.
and soup.
Right? I was kind of hoping that they would have opened for the fall or when it was
Yeah.
cooler. 'cause
Enchiladas and soup.
Yeah.
Those are the
That's
two
what
things
It's
on the
on the
menu.
corner
It's
of
not far from your
7th
house.
Avenue and Osborne.
Yeah.
Or
How
How do I
Thomas.
not know about any
You-
of this?
you really need to get out,
You know what's
sister.
interesting is we talked about this last time I was at your house.
I'm getting old, or is it this?
It might be the wine. Or apparently the beer.
Yeah. It's all right.
Oh, you were. Now I remember. I
Okay.
recall,
It's all coming
and that
back.
makes me feel better about
It's all
it.
coming back to
So
me
that
now.
needs to be an outing for us, apparently. But I don't know that I can get there in the summer.
Why?
I'm not
Like,
super excited about soup during the summer.
You don't need
Is
to
it
get
cold soup?
Oh, maybe. Ooh.
I've
We
had
all
that.
I know, but you
We
know
all
the
just
story.
retract a
The
little.
story about that place is really pretty incredible. It's like a 24-year-old kid that's opening this, and
That's why it took so long.
24 years.
Good God, he thought about it when he was first born.
Right. So another local place that get out and support and
Yeah, no, I'm optimistic about it. I just
Yes.
Enchiladas and soup.
enchiladas and soup.
You're gonna love it in November.
I will. We'll see.
Speaking of soup,
Look at that. Nice
look at
segue.
that segue. I don't have anything actually.
He doesn't actually have anything to say about soup. Well,
I love segues.
At least it's not a fly in my soup.
Right?
Excuse me, waiter. There is a fly in my
right.
soup.
That
Or
little asshole.
That
my glass of wine.
bastard.
Created a waste.
Yes, he did. So let's recap.
Yes.
Gay Wine Weekend, which I don't know if you can't tell, if I haven't made it clear, I'm very excited about, as always. It's
He's
a great time.
bubbling
Do
with
lesbians
excitement.
go?
Absolutely.
There's like
Lesbians
two.
are gay.
When is it?
June 14th, 15th, and 16th.
I gave you the opportunity.
In
Really needs to
Sonoma.
repeat it.
California. Check out outinthevineyard.com for more information. And actually, if we do our next show before then,
I want to go. Are you going?
Yes.
Is he going? I think he might be
Yeah,
going.
I'm going.
Do you want to go?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check it out. And if we do our next show before, maybe we'll have Mark and or Gary on the show, and they can talk about that, and Mark can talk about their South African safari.
Yes,
that they're planning as
I'm
well.
very interested in hearing more about this.
So that sounds
Do they
very
involve gay
exciting.
animals? Is what I want to ask. Are the animals gay?
I don't know that
Out on
that's a
the safari.
requirement. I don't know that I don't think that they really do auditions or cast the
Most
safari.
animals really bisexual.
Pretty much. They're on a range.
They are on a range.
The options
Out
are
on the
Kinsey
limitless.
scale.
They're out on the range.
Yes. So be sure to check that out. And if you can make it, spend a couple days in San Francisco. It's only 45
it's
minutes.
so beautiful up there.
It's a beautiful time of year in Northern California.
So chilly. It's a nice
Someone
little
once
escape.
said that summer is what's the Mark Twain quote? It's like
really
summer in
prepared
San
for this.
Francisco is the coldest winter I've ever experienced, or
Yeah.
something like that. So anyway, and then also some great new places to check out: Zook's Sandwiches in Phoenix.
ZookSandwiches.com.
That's
with a Z.
Check out Dos Cabezas wines. We're actually drinking out of our Dos Cabezas glasses tonight.
Yeah, so they're here in spirit.
They are here in spirit. Thank you, Todd and Kelly.
And actually, Todd introduced me to pre-rot wines anyway,
Right.
so
So
there you go.
very good stuff.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
IlTocoFood.com.
IlTocoFood.com.
And quiescencerestaurants.com for the
Yes.
winemaker dinner series.
Yep.
We'll make sure all these are on our show notes so you can catch all of that. But there are some good eats and drinks around town and around the country, even in Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia.
Woohoo.
We'll see you there.
Jittery Jones.
Jittery
Jittery Joe.
Joes.
Woo. All right.
Thank you very much for listening, and it's been a lot of fun, Libby, to have you back.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me,
being here.
guys.
Come back anytime, and next time Joe and Michelle will most likely be back.
That's
Then
right.
Claudine and I will probably be gone, so whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's been a lot of fun. Bill, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
It has been a great one. So check out qtalkamerica.com. Download all the previous episodes, and we'll get all the information from the show up on that website. So thank you very much. This has been Cheers
Eat
Drink.
and Be Fabulous.
with Nathan Trainer.
I'm Nathan Trainer.
I'm Claudine Wessel.
And I'm Libby Miller.
And we're very happy she's
And
been
that's
here.
Bill Farmer.
Hello, Bill.
Ew.
Holla.
Good night, everybody.